Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Libra, Sun, Middle, Rising. And Libra, it's your weekly reading, my first one for you of 2020 for the week of January 6th to the 12th. Libra, sorry that my setup and the lighting isn't fantastic here today. I'm actually still on holiday. I'm not at my house, so I'm just working with what I've got here, but I really wanted to bring you this reading. Congratulations, Happy New Year. We made it to 2020. I'm definitely feeling the energetic shift from 2019. So many of us had tumultuous years. If you've been tuning into social media and seeing everyone's kind of decade posts and the 2019 posts, there is a theme, guys, and there was a lot of deep planetary shifts and energies going on. Just started my readings here today, and I am seeing that there are still some situations completing that really need to complete so that we can allow in the higher light frequency that is coming through for us in 2020, and it's only going to increase over the next decade, guys. So it's very, very exciting, but it is time to let go of the dense energies, the heaviness, anything that might hold us back from that. It's got to go. It doesn't fit with the new earth, the new age that we're moving into. So we do see a similar kind of theme here in your reading, Libra. But I feel, gosh, we've just got you all over this. It's all about restoring balance for you, restoring balance so that then the beautiful gifts and offerings and potentially even love can come forth for you. So this week I'll just go through the cards that we've got here. We've got the Break the Chain Oracle card, and this is definitely what the situation relates to, I feel. We have the Knight of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, King of Swords, Justice, Nine of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. So just before we get into the tarot cards, I'm going to read out that oracle card because I feel like it's pretty pivotal to the theme of this reading. So, break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. You're being called to heal your family line or free yourself from living the life of your ancestors. This could mean letting go of an old pattern of your maternal or paternal line, healing trauma from the past that is not even yours, or observing old ways of being that no longer serve you. We carry emotional trauma in our luminous field for up to 7 generations back. This is why family patterns can be the hardest to break. Often, they are not even ours to begin with, but we do not know another way of being, so we continue to play out the drama. So, Libra, some of you are carrying on a cycle. You might be reliving an experience or situation in a cyclic way. For example, you might be finding yourself in relationships with partners who are similar. Maybe they're the manipulative people or energies. Maybe you find yourself with people that you can't commit to for one way or another because there's a underlying ancestral story or theme that you don't deserve that love, or that you can't find that life partner. For some of you, it can be in career as well. A pattern of self-sabotage, a pattern of personal self-sabotage or self-harm. Sometimes it can just be, limiting beliefs and thoughts that even though you might be living, your life and going along with things, are you living your best life? And these patterns can come from our family. They can come from a past trauma, or, our first experience of love or hurt with somebody, or betrayal. And it's amazing how that becomes our normal, and it becomes the imprint that we impose onto future situations. So, there is a very sort of cleansing energy as we shift into this new year, where we need to release those patterns that are no longer serving, because those energies just do not match the vibration that we're moving into, basically. So I feel that even if you don't, you will be put in situations where you're forced to release. That can be a Tower moment, or a Ten of Swords ending, that kind of thing. And these can be ancestral patterns, guys, in the collective consciousness of your people, and even in the greater scale as in human nature in general. But let's start at the start. I'm going to start with the Nine of Swords and the King of Swords. Sorry guys, I'm just having to reach around a tripod here. I'll do my best not to bump it. Whatever you're personally dealing with, Libra, whatever the situation is that needs to be brought to balance, it has caused you a certain amount of of pain, of keeping you awake at night. It could even be overthinking, over analytical thought patterns to the point that it can actually impact our mental health, anxiety, depression, that kind of thing. That Nine of Swords energy is that feeling of when a situation is literally stacked up against us and it's getting to the point where maybe we can't complete it or, take the necessary action that we need to because we're so caught up in it. And it's amazing how, in that state of overwhelm, and if it becomes, emotional breakdown and that kind of thing, it's very difficult to see clearly and to see clearly through a situation. And, we can end up in a place where we're reacting out of emotions, emotional reactions, triggers, and that kind of thing. And we can't make clear or logical decisions for ourselves and how to move forward because we can't see anymore. We really can't see the light out of that. Now, this is the past position here. Some of you may have already come out of this energy. Some of you may still be in it at the moment. But I feel, some of you might even be in that pattern and not necessarily know, why am I feeling like this? Or why am I feeling the level of intensity of emotions that I actually do? Because it doesn't really make sense. And that's because it's coming from a past situation, whether it's your own or someone else's. I just had a visual of an anchor. You know what it's like. Sometimes when you might have a relationship situation and it might not be that bad, but you're experiencing a lot of emotional breakdown, that sort of things, because it's like an anchor that's going right down into your shadow side and pulling up everything else, other relationship patterns and traumas with it. So every time you get triggered, it's all that's coming up, not just in the current situation. But I'm really pleased to see the King of Swords here, because the King of Swords is somebody who is a truth seeker. He also brings clarity and vision. And through having that clarity and vision, he can transform his situation. He can transform his reality for the better. He uses that sword to cut himself free, from the energetic ties of a situation and to set healthy boundaries. And, through having that vision, that's when we can really start to see a situation for what it is, see what's behind it in order to release ourselves from it. Now, when I was pulling these cards, Libra, and I just packed them away before I was about to roll the camera, I noticed two other cards that were on the ground here, and I've got them over to the side. So if we have 9 swords plus 1 sword, what do we get? We get 10 swords. I've actually got the 10 of Swords and I've got Strength over to the side here. So I really feel that, I'm going to include this card in the reading, guys, because I feel there is an ending that needs to happen here. This situation can't be carried over into this year. It does not belong here. And this ending could be just ending this belief that's holding you back. The 10 of Swords is a painful ending. We can see this has caused you pain, but there is a beautiful new eclipse here, that new dawn, that new day that wants to eclipse the darkness, and we need to let that happen. Some of you might need strength this week while you're going through that. Strength can be about, controlling our inner demons, our shadow side, our ego, tuning into that higher self in order to make clear decisions like the King of Swords would. Tuning into the King of Swords is about tuning into an energy that's mature, dominant when it needs to be, visionary, authoritative, and is definitely not going to, just stay in this kind of energy, which can tip over into victim mentality even with that 9 of Swords. So the theme this week, Libra, is all about bringing things back into balance. Because I strongly feel that that situation that you were in has put you out of balance, and you are the sign of balance. You are the sign of the scales. You bring that universal balance. But this situation that you've been in has put you off kilter. It's been a roller coaster or a seesaw, an up and down situation. And it's time for you to bring it to justice in order to bring those scales back into alignment. Because it might have felt like, you were either this guy or these guys here, either the beggar or the rich man. Maybe some of you have been in a situation with someone who builds you up and then brings you down, whether that's a boss, a lover, or mentor. but we need more equanimity in our lives than that, Libra. Life should be a little bit more balanced, otherwise it can lead to, these kind of feelings that we see here in the Nine of Swords. So justice, it's an energy that comes in when a fair and just modification needs to come in to rebalance the scales of life and to tip over these two nines, these almost overs, almost completions, into the ending that truly needs to happen, because this cycle and this chain needs to be broken. It's time for healing, and it's time to clear that so that you can rewrite your future and you can choose something better for yourself. So, justice, it can link to legal proceedings as well. There might be contractual agreements in work or in a partnership, a collaboration that needs to be reviewed or undertaken in order to work through this situation. Can be divorce papers, guys, property agreements, that kind of thing. But make sure you do it properly. And, justice is about a fair and just ending or result for the party that it's meant for, so it doesn't just go in the way of the person that wants that ending. But, with that Six of Pentacles here, I think you could be even gaining something materially or financially out of the situation once those scales have been balanced. But this is all about you restoring your Libra balance and coming back to who you are, Libra. But we see you here. This definitely represents you for me in this reading, sitting on that throne of power and being victorious. So if you have been feeling out of power in a situation or being made to feel that way, this is where it turns. This is where you come back into that seat of power. And when you are balanced and in that Libran energy, and you've dealt with this energy of the past, well, that's when things start to shift, and they shift quickly, guys, because we have the Knight of Cups and the Eight of Wands. So, the Knight of Cups, guys, it's a messenger with an offering here, an emotional offering. Now, that can be an apology, can be an offer of friendship, but excitingly, it can be an offer of love as well. The Knight of Cups can be that knight in shining armor. Once you free yourself from a situation that might have been holding energetic space, you'll be surprised what can come in for you. The Knight of Cups can be someone who's very charismatic, actually quite magnetic and beautiful as well. And it could be, in a friendship or a business collaboration sense, or it could be a lover, a romantic partner as well. Now, with the Eight of Wands here, some of you might be traveling and meet this person, especially if you're on holidays at the moment, or this person could travel to come and see you, and highly possible this connection could be something that you've established online through social media or that kind of thing. The Eight of Wands also has an element of divinity about it, so this could be that meant-to-be situation that only comes after you've done the work, after you've cleared the space. That's what I'm seeing here. And, Eight of Wands, this is fire, this is passion, this is enthusiasm, this is feeling energetic. And I think that you're really going to get your fire back, Libra, after you resolve this situation. So it's actually a really beautiful ending here, and it's going to lead to much greater things. But of course, sometimes we need to go through a little bit of the pain before we can get to the gain, the positive gain. And, it's time to end it, Libra, before it continues anymore, until that cycle continues. We really want to end it so you can rewrite that future. Libra, I'm going to leave it there for you this week. I wish you all the best with it. Keep in mind it is a general reading. It won't be for every one of you guys. Feel free to leave me a comment, because I always love to know how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll see you back here for another reading next week.